Welcome to Venerated Elder Rāhula, vegan, son of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha, vegan, servant of the Dhamma, part 1 of 3.
Accomplished in the world and the Dhamma, I am Rāhula, the fortunate. I am the son of the Buddha. I see the Dhamma, my effluence ended. Free of ignorance, no further becoming. I am worthy of offerings. I know the 3 marks. Clearly seeing the deathless. Those blinded by the veil of craving, clinging to Mara, they are like fish in a net. Abandoning sensual distractions, rooted in ignorance, the flames of craving behind me, I am cool and unbound. Poem by the Venerated Elder Rāhula, vegan, in Photographa, Chapter 4, Verse 8.
The Venerated Elder Rāhula was one of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha's 10 principal disciples, all vegans, as well as the 11th of the 16 arhats whom the Buddha personally chose. The arhats were asked to stay in the world as guardians of the Dhamma for the benefit of sentient beings until the arrival of the next Buddha, the worshipped Maitreya Buddha, vegan. Rāhula was the only son of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who would later become Lord Shakyamuni Gautama Buddha, the world-honored one, and Princess Yasodhara, vegan. He was born on the day of his father's renunciation. Prince Siddhartha, upon sneaking out of the palace one day, witnessed the 4 hardships of the circle of life: poverty, illness, old age, and death. Previously, he had been sheltered from these by his father. This turn of events encouraged him to renounce his life of royalty in search of enlightenment and to find the solution to end human suffering. Tradition holds that when Prince Siddhartha learned of his son's birth, he exclaimed that fetter had been born. He was concerned that this chain would tie him to their worldly life and prevent him from the path of enlightenment. He therefore named his son Rāhula, meaning fetter or chain in Sanskrit. The young prince was raised by his mother and grandfather, King Suddhodana, the Cheyenne king of Kapilavastu. After attaining enlightenment and beginning to share the Dhamma, the Buddha settled for a time in Rajagaha, where his compassionate teachings began to attract many devoted seekers. News of his spiritual awakening and the increasing number of his followers soon reached King Suddhodana, the Buddha's aging father, who was filled with longing to see his son once more. Yearning for a reunion, the king sent one trusted courtier after another, 9 in total, to invite the Buddha to return to Kapilavastu. Yet each envoy, upon hearing the Dhamma, was so deeply moved that they attained arahantship and chose to join the Sangha. Having renounced worldly ties, none of them delivered the king's message. Disheartened but determined, King Suddhodana finally turned to Kaludayi, a childhood companion of Prince Siddhartha. Granted permission to enter the monastic order, Kaludayi journeyed to Rajagaha. Like the others, he too realized the truth of the Dhamma and became an arahant. Yet, honoring the bond of friendship and duty, he delivered the long-awaited message to the Buddha. When Rāhula was about 7 years old, the Buddha visited Kapilavastu for the first time after his enlightenment and taught the Dhamma to his royal family and homeland. Princess Yasodhara clothed her son in fine clothing and sent him to Lord Buddha for his inheritance. According to legend, she told Rāhula,
"Behold, son, that golden-colored ascetic looking like Brahma, surrounded by 20,000 ascetics. He is your father, and he has great treasures. Since his renunciation, we do not see them. Go up to him and ask for your inheritance, and say, 'Father, I am the prince. After my consecration, I will be a universal monarch. I am in need of wealth. Please give me wealth, for the son is the owner of what belongs to the father.'"
Rāhula, drawn by his father's presence, approached him and said,
"O ascetic, even your shadow is pleasing to me."
After the Buddha finished his meal, his son asked him for his wealth and inheritance. The Buddha agreed and left Rāhula the greatest inheritance, although not the expected palace and riches. Instead, the Buddha told Rāhula,
"Son, I will give you the wealth I obtained under the tree of enlightenment. I will make you the heir of an inheritance that does not perish."
The worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha, vegan, taught the principles of the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path to Rāhula as part of his early spiritual training. He then called on the venerated Sariputra, vegan, one of his chief disciples, to ordain his son into the Sangha. Rāhula would become the first Ramanira, or novice monk. He was likely the first person to receive formal initiation into the monastic order. King Suddhodana was heartbroken when he learned that his beloved grandson Rāhula had been unexpectedly ordained. Deeply moved by sorrow, he approached the Buddha and made a respectful plea.
When the Lord renounced the world, it was a cause of great pain to me. It was so when Nanda renounced, and especially so in the case of Rāhula. The love of a father towards a son cut through the skin, the hide, the flesh, the sinew, the bone, and the marrow. Grant, Lord, the request that the noble ones may not confer ordination on a son without the permission of his parents.
The Buddha, understanding the depth of parental love, accepted the request with compassion. From that moment on, he established a new rule in the Vinaya. No minor could be ordained without parental permission. Young Rāhula, only 7 years old, embraced monastic life with remarkable grace. Though his age made his spiritual commitment seem unlikely, his demeanor proved otherwise. Rāhula had to follow the same rules as his fellow monks and was shown no favoritism by his father, Lord Buddha. According to tradition, there was a well-known interaction between Rāhula and his father, which occurred at a humble monastery during a rainstorm. On August 17, 2024, our most beloved Supreme Master Chinhai, vegan, mentioned this story.
And then later, the Buddha had an ashram, a room for him. They call it fragrant room. It was for the Buddha, and there were many other rooms for the monks. But sometimes it was not enough because some other monks came back, elderly monks or visiting monks from other schools, and didn't have enough room. Then even Rāhula, son of the Buddha, had to go sleep in the toilet area. That's how the Buddha trained him to be humble, to be accepting in any situation. The son of the Buddha, even. A prince also. He was a prince, of course, and had to go sleep in the toilet area.
This incident shows that the Buddha treated all his disciples equally, regardless of kin. The Buddha formally assigned Sariputra as Rāhula's teacher. Rāhula proved to be an extremely dutiful and eager student. Legend says that each morning he would grab a handful of sand and say,
May I have today as many words of counsel from my teacher as there are here grains of sand.
In the mornings, Rāhula would often accompany the venerated Sariputra while gathering alms, quietly observing and learning the ways of the Sangha. Rāhula's utmost dedication and attentiveness to his training led the Buddha to take a keen interest in his son's spiritual and moral education. As a result of this enthusiasm, the Buddha said of his son that of all his disciples, he was the most anxious for training. Occasionally, Lord Buddha would personally mentor Rāhula on the path to enlightenment, instilling in him wisdom regarding various facets of life and emphasizing the value of truth, self-reflection, anatta, or the doctrine of no-self, and mindfulness. When Rāhula was still a boy, the Buddha tailored these lessons to be suitable for his age, conveying the Dhamma in ways that were easy for him to understand, remember, and apply. We are immeasurably blessed to ever receive such gifts from a living enlightened master, which are given with love that knows no bounds. Welcome to Venerated Elder Rāhula, vegan, son of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha, vegan, servant of the Dhamma, part 2 of 3. The venerated elder Rāhula was one of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha's 10 principal disciples, all vegans, as well as the 11th of the 16 arhats, whom the Buddha personally chose. The arhats were asked to stay in the world as guardians of the Dhamma for the benefit of sentient beings until the arrival of the next Buddha, the worshipped Maitreya Buddha, vegan. One of the most well-known lessons that Rāhula received from his father was the importance of always telling the truth, which is shared in a discourse known as the Ambalatika Rahulavada Sutta. Rāhula, prone to youthful mischief, once intentionally provided a lay person who had come to see the Buddha with incorrect directions. Lord Buddha wanted to help his son understand how actions have consequences. Seeing the Buddha return from giving lectures on the Dhamma one day, Rāhula went to fetch water to wash Lord Buddha's feet. The Buddha took this opportunity to share the Dhamma with his son. After the Blessed One's feet had been bathed, the Buddha left a small quantity of water in the vessel and said to his son,
Do you see, Rāhula, this small quantity of water left in the vessel?
Yes, Lord.
Similarly, Rāhula, insignificant indeed is the shamanship or monkhood of those who are not ashamed of uttering deliberate lies.
Then the Buddha threw away that small quantity of water and said,
Discarded indeed is the shamanship of those who are not ashamed of deliberate lying.
The Buddha turned the vessel upside down and said,
Overturned indeed is the shamanship of those who are not ashamed of uttering deliberate lies.
Finally, the Buddha set the vessel upright and said,
Empty and void indeed is the shamanship of those who are not ashamed of deliberate lying. I say of anyone who is not ashamed of uttering deliberate lies that there is no evil that could not be done by him. Accordingly, Rāhula, thus should you train yourself, not even in play will I tell a lie.
The Buddha taught his son how lying was an action, and that there are consequences resulting from one's actions. Lord Buddha utilized the analogy of emptying the vessel of water to demonstrate how being untruthful can cause the liar to grow increasingly empty inside spiritually, which creates a void and leads to numerous other evils. Beloved Buddha further emphasized the importance of honesty. He explained to Rāhula the merits associated with self-reflection and the guiding principle of morality.
Rāhula, for what purpose is a mirror?
For the purpose of reflecting, Lord.
In the same way, Rāhula, bodily actions, verbal actions, and mental actions are to be done with repeated reflection.
The Buddha taught young Rāhula,
Before you act, whether it's something you do with your body, something you say, or even something you think, pause and ask yourself, will this cause harm to myself, to others, or to both? Will it lead to suffering? If the answer is yes, then it's not something you should do. But if you see that it will bring no harm and may even bring benefit, then it is appropriate to proceed. While you are in the middle of that action, stay aware. Ask yourself, is this action turning out the way I intended? Is it bringing harm or benefit? If you see that it is leading to harm, stop right away. If not, continue. After the action is done, reflect once more. What were the results? Did it cause suffering or was it helpful?
Lord Buddha strongly encouraged Rāhula to reflect before, during, and after his actions. The World-Honored One taught that this constant self-reflection is like using a mirror for the mind, ensuring that one's intentions and actions align with compassion and wisdom. Beloved Buddha said,
If, when reflecting, you should realize, now this action that I have done is unskillful, such an action should be confessed, revealed, and made manifest to the teacher or to the learned or to your brethren of the holy life. Having confessed, you should acquire restraint in the future.
The Buddha concluded the discussion as follows.
Thus must you train yourself by constantly reflecting, shall we purify our bodily actions? By constantly reflecting, shall we purify our verbal actions? By constantly reflecting, shall we purify our mental actions?
Following the Buddha's discourse, Rāhula was embarrassed and regretful of his dishonest actions. He immediately repented to Lord Shakyamuni Buddha.
Merciful Buddha, thank you for enlightening me about the endless worries my lies have brought to people. I will never do it again.
Rāhula now understood the significance of honesty and how it was a method of self-respect and respect for others. Another lesson that the Buddha conveyed to Rāhula involved anatta, or no self. Anatta is one of three characteristics of all existence and beings, along with dukkha, suffering or dissatisfaction, and anicca, impermanence. The doctrine of no self refers to no permanent, unchanging essence or soul within a person, and that the ever-changing physical body and mental state make up one's identity. As such, humans should not become attached to the notion of this physical self. A common metaphor used by the Buddha to elucidate this point is the metaphor of a chariot. Lord Buddha explained that like a chariot which has multiple parts, for example wheels, axle, body, one's physical self is also constituted of different aspects, such as sensations, feelings, and thoughts. However, none of these elements are one's true self. Thereby, if one is attached to the physical form or the thought of a fixed self, this creates suffering. Our most beloved Supreme Master Chinhai, vegan, once mentioned how Lord Buddha was a strict master.
释迦牟尼佛的和尚一天一餐，除了拉胡拉那个他的儿子就有一次抱怨说，这个我那年轻的肚子一天一餐受不了，然后佛也是在那边教训他一大堆的，就是真的像一个爸爸一样，说你这个人看看那个这个盘子是做什么了？他说这个是用洗澡的，懂吗？以前和尚都没穿鞋子进来，要洗澡才进来道场嘛。然后释迦牟尼佛就问他：“那个盘子平常用洗澡了，能不能用来喝汤吃东西他说不能，不能，这个用途说不一样。释迦牟尼佛就是说，你就要像那个样子，就不能用在比较更高雅的地方，所以你要。”当好一点的徒弟了，懂不懂？不是因为你是我的儿子，然后就随便懈怠，都这样的，好严格哦。
One story comes from the Pali commentaries, specifically from the Dhammapada commentary. According to tradition, when Rāhula was just 8 years old, he already demonstrated deep humility and reverence toward his elders in the Sangha. One night, due to the arrival of several senior monks, Rāhula willingly gave up his room and chose to sleep near the Buddha's hut. Mara, the embodiment of delusion and temptation, seeking to disturb the peace and test the young monk, took the fearsome form of a towering elephant king. Drawing near, he encircled Rāhula's head with his enormous trunk and let out a thunderous trumpet. Unshaken, the young Rāhula remained calm and fearless. The Buddha, perceiving Mara's intentions, said,
Hey Mara, even 100,000 Maras, let alone you, are incapable of frightening my son Rāhula. In fact, my son has no fear at all. He is free from craving, very energetic, and highly intelligent.
Buddha declared through verses,
Hey Mara, a disturbing one, my son Rāhula is one who has realized his goal. that is arhataship called Brahmacharya Paryusana. He is absolutely free from fear. He is purified of the 108 kinds of real craving. He is devoid of the 1,500 mental defilements. He has uprooted the thorns and spikes of all existences, such as sensual, material, and immaterial. The body of my son Rāhula in the present existence is his last body.
May all humanity move beyond the causal reality of body, mind, and emotions and awaken to their true self. Welcome to Venerated Elder Rāhula, vegan, son of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha, vegan, servant of the Dhamma, part 3 of 3.
On the island of Priyanku is the noble elder Rāhula, surrounded by 1,100 arhats, homage to the one holding a jeweled tiara. Sakya liturgical text.
The venerated elder Rāhula was one of the worshipped Shakyamuni Buddha's 10 principal disciples, all vegans, as well as the 11th of the 16 arhats whom the Buddha personally chose. The Buddha taught the importance of observing the skandhas. The skandhas include the 5 aggregates of clinging: rupa, form or material image; vedana, sensations or feelings from form; samjna, perceptions; samskara, mental formations or influence from a previous life; and vijnana, discernment or consciousness. In Theravada Buddhism, suffering is the result of when one clings to the aggregates. Only by letting go of these attachments can one rise beyond suffering. It is said that the Buddha taught this discourse to Rāhula as his son had become enchanted by their handsome appearances. In Rāhula's 18th year, one day, while accompanying the Buddha on an alms round, Rāhula followed closely behind him. The pair were a majestic sight. The father and son shared a golden complexion, radiated beauty, and hailed from the warrior caste. Both had given up royal privilege in pursuit of enlightenment. Gazing upon the Buddha with admiration, Rāhula reflected,
I too am handsome, like my parent, the Exalted One. Beautiful is the Buddha's form, and mine is similar.
The Buddha, perceiving Rāhula's thought at once, turned and addressed him.
Rāhula, you should truly see any kind of form at all, past, future or present, internal or external, solid or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, all form, with right understanding. This is not mine, I am not this is not myself.
Only form, Blessed One. Only form, Holy One.
Form, Rāhula, as well as feeling and perception and choices and consciousness.
Rāhula also learned from the Buddha the significance of mindfulness. The Buddha showed that mindfulness was essential for one to be liberated from the cycle of rebirth. He taught his son to meditate at the age of 18. Lord Shakyamuni Buddha likened the mind to a monkey person. The mind, unable to remain still, constantly jumps from one thought to another. Rāhula was taught that mindfulness and meditation were the only methods that could discipline the mind. Taking heed of the Buddha's guidance and advice, Rāhula practiced meditation diligently. He thereby became fully enlightened when he was only 18 years old. According to Pali tradition, 1 crore or 10 million heavenly beings attended the sermon. These beings had vowed to witness this momentous occasion, the enlightenment of the son of the Buddha. After his awakening, Rāhula was referred to by his friends as Rāhula Bhadda, which means Rāhula the Lucky. Rāhula explained that he was given this name for 2 reasons. Firstly, he was the son of the Buddha, and secondly, he had seen the truth and attained full enlightenment. At the age of 29, the venerated Rāhula became fully ordained as a monk. The Buddha acknowledged that amongst all his disciples, Rāhula was one of the most eager to learn. According to the Pali Udana scripture, Lord Buddha named Rāhula as one of 11 exemplary disciples. He was noted for his patience and lauded for consistently practicing Buddha's teachings. Rāhula was faithful to his studies and diligent in following the precepts without ever expecting praise or being prideful as the son of Lord Shakyamuni Buddha. As per Pali sources, Rāhula in one of his former lives was inspired by the son of a previous Buddha and promised to be like him in a future life. It is said that Rāhula was the son of the Buddha-to-be in many of his previous lives. Throughout many of his lifetimes, he cultivated an acquiescent and easy-to-teach habit. The venerated Rāhula was also dedicated to training new monks and novices, thereby earning him a spot as one of the Buddha's 10 principal disciples. Our most beloved Supreme Master Chinhai, Vegan, mentioned venerated Rāhula as one of the foremost masters.
For example, like Buddha has like 10 foremost disciples.
Yes.
And then he already appointed them, okay? Like the first one is what? And then that first one and the other 9 the similar levels of consciousness, high level. And they were always with the Buddha, always, and learn with him for many decades. And then not just learn the outside from an outer teaching, lecture, but also imbue with the light, the power from the Buddha's magnetic field.
Yes, Master.
So after the Buddha died, one of them became the first one. And then that first one, they appointed the next one. And even Rāhula, the Buddha's son, also became one of the foremost masters after successor.
Venerated Rāhula's departure receives little attention in the earliest Buddhist texts. However, according to both Pali and Chinese sources, he passed away before his father, the Buddha. These accounts describe this occurring while traveling psychically through the second Buddhist heaven, or Trayatrimsa. However, Mahayana Buddhist tradition holds that venerated Rāhula was one of the enlightened disciples, or arhats, requested by the Lord Buddha to lengthen their lives and remain in the world until the coming of the worshipped Maitreya Buddha, Vegan, to protect the Dhamma and to alleviate the suffering of sentient beings. According to Mahayana tradition in Buddhism, Rāhula was the 11th of 16 arhats and would reside with 1,100 of his disciples on the Land of Chestnuts and Grains Island. In the Great Tang records of the Western regions, the venerated Buddhist enlightened master Xuan Dang, vegetarian, provides a detailed account of his travels and observations. He recounts meeting a very old Brahmin who claimed to have been a contemporary of the Buddha and to have known many of the Buddha's direct disciples, including Rāhula. According to the Brahmin, the venerated Rāhula was still alive at that time as an elderly monk who had delayed his passing into nirvana to fulfill a promise made to the Buddha. The discourses and lessons that Rāhula received from the Buddha comprise a part of his legacy. Some Thai schools of the Buddhist Boran meditation lineage regard the Venerable Elder Rāhula as their patron. According to Pali Buddhist texts, Rāhula did not attain full enlightenment immediately after hearing the Dhamma, as a few disciples did. Instead, he gradually achieved arahantship through diligent training and meditation under the guidance of the Buddha. His spiritual journey, emphasizing ethical conduct, mindfulness, and meditative insight, is detailed in suttas such as the Ambalatika Rahulavada Sutta, and his dedication to learning is praised in the Udana and Theragatha, a collection of verses by elder monks. Another important part of Rāhula's legacy was that as the only son of the Buddha and the first official novice monk, he set precedents for children to join the monastic order. This would further foster a change of perspective in Buddhism, as children were now seen to harbor potential for enlightenment. Rāhula's position as a child novice monk expanded into a prevalent tradition where monasteries educated children, utilizing the instruction given to Rāhula by the Buddha. The venerated elder Rāhula left an impactful impression on Buddhism. His eagerness for learning, dedication to the monastic code, patience, and filial piety are renowned in the Buddhist community and texts. Throughout history, he has been worshipped by novice monks and nuns. Monastics seeking to embody the discipline and humility of the Sangha have long looked to the venerated Rāhula as a source of devotion and inspiration. According to legend, Rāhula was bestowed a diadem or crown from the gods of the heaven of the 33, the second heaven of the desire realm, located on Mount Meru summit. There are 33 gods presiding there. It is said that the diadem has the blessings to extinguish passion and for one to understand Buddhist teachings. Whomever prays to venerated Elder Rāhula will be protected by the 33 deities. The exemplary display of diligence, patience, and dedication in spiritual practice by the venerated Elder Rāhula serves as an inspiration for us to improve ourselves on the path to enlightenment. We can cultivate these noble habits while heeding the wise teachings of Lord Shakyamuni Buddha.
Vegan side effect: people will want to be like you.
Our deepest gratitude to the reunited three most powerful, God, Tim Kotu, and the Son of God, for saving our beautiful planet and all beings on Earth.